There are but two types of jealousy in the world, and jealousy is a topic that is not often covered by people simply because people don't really have the awareness or the understanding of how it truly works. So you've got the wards type of jealousy, the upward type of jealousy, and the downward type of jealousy. Okay, so the downward jealousy is something that we are all super hyper aware of. Someone looks better than you, or they are ahead of you in a certain way, more educated than you, more money than you, they look better than you, they're in better shape than you, the hair is better than you, blah blah blah, the list goes on and on. There are things that people are jealous of that are mentally beyond me. It creates a sense of envy, sense of covetousness, and that's something that we're all, I want to say for the most part, very aware of. It's the upward jealousy that the most people don't really talk about. Upward jealousy is when you have a certain type of people that dominate a certain class. It could be a political class, it could be high society, it could be a specific way of living or being, right? And you are the rookie, you are the newcomer, you are the person. You didn't start off with that money, you didn't start off looking that way, you didn't start that way, right? Typically we're talking about money here, but however, there can be other domains that this can stretch into. You know, they're established fashion designers for 40 years, but you show up on the block, your designs are better than them, people like your clothes better than them, and you get more money for it. That's where the upward jealousy starts. People who are in higher positions of power know that they've had to stamp on a lot of people to get those positions of power. We know that. We know the kind of world we live in very quickly, right? Okay, so they're very status conscious. You know, I've made a lot of videos where I've always said that life is not about money, it's about status. And people will do anything to get a little bit of status. Belial has this saying that the weak eat the weaker for a modicum of power. I've made videos on it, I'll probably extend and stretch on it. It's something I go very in depth into, like Black Label mentoring or the Black Label series on the site. And it really gets into the dark and nasty way most people think, but they will put a very nice facade and veneer and make it look like that's not what they're thinking. When a person understands dark human psychology, you've understood literally everything. Okay. Upward jealousy is once upon a time this used to be your boss. You know, now they're your co-worker. Once upon a time this used to be that, now it's this. You know, people are very status conscious. Upward jealousy is one of the most dangerous types of jealousy because you're trying to break through a glass ceiling. You're trying to break through these big snakes that are sitting at the top, and they know and they want to defend their position by any means necessary. And you can see this in more geopolitical stuff or political stuff in a country where you have fresh blood. You got this old dude who's ruled for like 70 years or something, and he knows and he doesn't want to give that. You know, power is, it's very intoxicating when you get it because a lot of people abuse power. That's all they want power for, to hurt people and abuse them with it. A lot of people are not responsible with power because they're unhealed inside. Okay, so you are now looking at somebody that will do anything to keep that political power, anything to keep that maintenance or image or anything, and it becomes very nasty and ugly over time. So the two types of jealousy are very important to understand if you are an ambitious, successful person at all time, that you're gonna have the low-level garden variety downward type of jealousy whereby people have seen you ascend. You may have started in the same place as them, but people have seen you ascend. And then you've got the upward jealousy, as I've mentioned, that, well, when you've gone and sat at those tables, but typically you may have come from a different set of circumstances, you may not have been able to afford that stuff. Now there's a lot that's going on. People will be like, who are you and why do you belong at this table? A key example I can give you guys very clearly is qualifier questions. When I was younger, people loved asking me qualifier questions because they couldn't believe that this happy-go-lucky woman who had a very playful attitude could actually be serious about something. This is the reason in workplaces women try and suit up, as I call it, because it's a male-dominated industry. And I can cover the intersection and the Venn diagram of sexism here, where, you know, you've got the old boys club. Think of finance. Finance and insurance are the two main things that come to mind, and maybe law as well. Where a lot of guys are misogynistic, they hate women, they're open about their hatred of women. A woman is weak, pathetic, and stupid. She can't amount to anything, and she'll always be dependent and rely on a man. They've got these very patriarchal, traditional, archaic, just nasty fuckers, basically. They're toxic. Okay. A woman suddenly becomes sits on the board of directors. She suddenly becomes the CEO. She suddenly now has the same playing field that guy once did. He's going to do everything to try and stamp it out, because it's that inferiority complex. People, if they see you as below them, and people always are very aware of a superiority and inferiority complex, and people do everything. From a most perspective, people use status. They use cars, clothes, designer gear to symbolize high status. Because when you have high status, a lot of people don't question you on things. They'll question you to a certain degree, and then after that, they'll realize, I can't reach that status. Because status has been defined by the elite, the ruling elite. Status has been defined by what they pump into the media that goes into somebody's subconscious mind. So jealousy is a very deep topic. It's a topic that ruins families. It's a topic that ruins relationships. It's a topic that if jealousy creeps into the picture, if someone's being weird with you and you don't really know why they're being weird with you, it's jealousy. Jealousy has a smell energetically, and it's a very hard smell. It's like a smell of burning. I can always smell it. If somebody has that certain type of energy towards me, I always think, in my head, I'm like, something doesn't smell right here. And that's due to oracally, of course, that's due to my spiritual gift. And a lot of people who have that clairaudience, or maybe they're even clairvoyants, they can feel like smoke. There's something wrong. Jealousy is not something somebody can hide. They will do their best to keep it under wraps. They'll try and conceal it, but jealousy is not something people can hide. Eventually, it will tumble out in their looks, their resentment of you, their discomfort of how you look. Looks and image is a big one to trigger jealousy. So I've often said to a lot of my clients, I've often said to people who come to me, just watch yourself, look after yourself, and be very aware on the sliding scale when it comes to the understanding of so many people, how they behave and why they behave that way.